Hello, friends. Welcome back to Story Time. Today, the story is about Magic Tree House Buffalo Before Breakfast. Magic Tree House series Buffalo Before Breakfast by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 9 Lakota School. Jack felt Teddy licking his cheek. He opened his eyes. Grey light came through the smoke hole. The fire was out. The teepee was empty. Jack jumped up. He grabbed his bag and hurried outside with Teddy. In the cool light before dawn, everyone was taking down their teepees. They were loading them onto wooden platforms strapped to two poles. The poles were pulled by horses. Grandmother and Black Hawk piled tools and cloths onto their platform. Annie stuffed buffalo meat into a rawhide bag. "What's happening?" Jack asked. "It is time to follow the buffalo," said Grandmother. "We will camp somewhere else for a few weeks." Jack pulled out his notebook. He still had many questions, but he tried to choose just a few. "Can you camp anywhere?" he asked. "Even when you don't own the land?" Black Hawk laughed. "People cannot own land," he said. "The land belongs to the Great Spirit." Jack wrote in his notebook, "Land owned by Great Spirit, not people." "What about school?" said Jack. "Don't you have to go to school?" "What is school?" Black Hawk said. "It's a place where kids go to learn things," Jack explained. Black Hawk laughed again. "There is not only one place to learn," he said. "In camp, we learn to make cloths, tools, and teepees. On the plains, we learn to ride and hunt. We look at the sky and learn courage from the eagle." Jack wrote, "Lakota School is everywhere." Grandmother turned to Jack and Annie. "Will you walk with us toward the sunset?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "We have to go the other way," he said, "toward the sunrise." "Thank you for the eagle's feather," said Annie. "Let your thoughts rise as high as that feather," said Grandmother. "It is good medicine." "What does that mean?" Jack asked. "Good medicine?" "Good medicine connects you to the world of the spirits," she said. Jack nodded, but he still didn't really understand. "Goodbye, Buffalo Girl and Rides Like Queen," said Grandmother. "We wish you a safe journey." Jack and Annie waved. Then they started walking back the way they would come. Teddy ran ahead of them. At the top of the rise, they looked back. Grandmother, Black Hawk, and the rest of the tribe were watching. Jack and Annie both held up two fingers for friend. Then they took off down the slope. They ran across the prairie, through the tall, whispering grass, all the way back to the tree house. Annie put Teddy in the leather bag. She and Jack climbed up the rope ladder. They looked out the window one last time. The ocean of grass was golden in the early sunlight. By now, the Lakota were walking west, Jack thought. "Soon everything will change," he said sadly. "The buffalo will vanish. The old way of life for the Lakota will vanish too. But the great spread won't ever vanish, said Annie. It will always take care of Black Hawk's people. Jack smiled. Annie's words made him feel better. Arf, arf, Teddy barked, as if to say, let's go. Okay, okay, said Jack. He picked up the Pennsylvania book and pointed at a picture of Frog Creek. I wish we could go home to our people, he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 10. Good Medicine. We are home, said Annie. Bright sunlight flooded the treehouse. Teddy licked Jack's and Annie's faces. They were back in their jeans and t-shirts. Hey, silly, Annie said to the dog. Now we have the second thing to help free you from your spell. She took the eagle's feather out of Jack's backpack. She put it on Morgan's note next to the silver pocket watch from the Titanic. Now we have our gift from the Prairie Blue, said Jack. Let your thoughts rise as high as this feather. Hey, I just had a thought, said Annie. What? Said Jack. I bet Teddy had something to do with white buffalo women, she said. Why? Said Jack. I bet Teddy had something to do with white buffalo women, she said. Why? Asked Jack. 1 second, Teddy disappeared in the grass. Then white buffalo women appeared, said Annie. When white buffalo women disappeared, Teddy appeared. Said Jack. He started at the little dog. Teddy tilted his head and gave Jack a wise look. Well, said Jack, maybe Teddy has good medicine. Now you understand, said Annie, smiling. Jack, Annie, a call came from the distance. Jack and Annie looked out the window of the treehouse. Their mom and their grandmother were standing on their porch. Yay! Grandmother is here, said Annie. We are coming, they shouted together. Let's put Teddy in your backpack, said Annie, so we can take him home with us this time. Okay, said Jack. But when they turned around, the little dog was gone. Teddy, said Annie. There was no sign of him. Oh man, as soon as we turned our backs, he slipped away, said Jack. Just like last time. Don't worry, said Annie. He will find us again soon. I'm sure of it. She started down the rope ladder. Jack grabbed his pack and followed. As they started for home, a wind gusted through the trees. Jack stopped for a moment to look at the woods. Branches waved their leaves. Birds left the branches and swooped up into the blue sky. Black Hawk's grandmother is right, he thought. All things are related. Jack, called Annie. Coming, said Jack. He hurried to catch up with her. Together they ran out of the Frog Creek woods, up their street, and into their own grandmother's arms. The end. Thanks for watching the video. Bye.